I wanted to talk about Timotino and Vora joining 100 Thieves because it flows from the TSM discussion quite sensibly. I think that those are two big players from TSM who knew that they were going to Tier 1 by the sound of it before they'd ever played that final. And then the rumor is that Asuna and Cryo are staying, with Asuna still on the flex role, Cryo on the Perma Sentinel role, and they will be trialing Smokes players. So what do you think of this move for starters? Because they originally looked like they were going to be holding on to EU, and he now doesn't really have a space in the team if you've got Vora coming in as your IGL. So yeah, what do you think about these players from TSM to start with, coming up with NBS, their coach?
I mean, they look good. They definitely look like skilled enough that they can hang. I thought Timo was great. Vora's good. Dude, I'm kind of fine with this. I guess I think losing EU is big, personally. But I think if it's like to make room for someone that is going to be the IGL, then I can get on board with it. I guess I just have to wait and see what the other pieces are. But it's not too bad at all. And they play nice. Like, they do play nice for sure.
When you've got MBS going as well, you just assume that he is like handpicked, like said. I mean, you could see it anyway. I mean, they're good players, but, like in terms of like, how they are as people, you would assume if MBS is already going to 100 Thieves that, he knows that they're good, workers as well, and that they can work within that system. And again, it's kind of like, it's not BBL, it's not Vitality in the way, but, you are keeping essentially a core together, and you've got Astra and Cryo as well. Interesting to see who the fifth will be, but I think the eye test wise, both those players look pretty good. And so I think for 100 Thieves, well, I think that a lot of America's teams will probably on paper end up looking pretty decent, but this is one of a big soup of decent American teams, if I had to guess.
I really like it. I think it's the obvious choice to pick up somebody. The obvious one was to pick up Timotino. I mean, I feel like surely he got like multiple offers, or maybe he's still getting them. I don't know, but I think Timotino's the obvious one. I feel like Vora is it's really insane. I mean, I would say the best IGL that we had in Tier 2 the entire year. I think he's really smart. He's really good mechanically, like one of the best performing IGLs as well that we've had. My only thing is that he's incredible, and I hope that he's able to keep that same performance when he's like, if he moves to Tier 1. But he does remind me a little bit of Mitch, when Mitch was like playing for Tier 2 and he was like really insane when he was playing for Oxygen. And then when he moved to Cloud9, not to say that he was bad, but I just feel like it wasn't to that same level that we saw in Tier 2. So that is my only thing. But if Vora is able to keep up the same, is a really good team. I mean, I don't know what it means exactly for Asuna to be flexible or like a flex player, but I think he's like willing to play whatever, so it's a good team.
Yeah, that's definitely the weird one. I think people are going to have more questions about Asuna than anything else on this team.
It feels like he's just one of those players that will want to do anything to make sure this team can win. You kind of see that with you kind of see that with the amount of times he jumps around corners. It's more just, I guess, play style wise. You're kind of a little bit more worried if he's on an agent that is like really important util wise and he's maybe overextending. He definitely needs to find that limit because he's was a very aggressive duelist.
Yeah, he really is.
They can double duelist as well, though, right? I guess it's just like hard flex. They could just go double duelist. And then, I mean, both of them would like to send it.
Yeah. I don't know who the Smokes player is that they're looking at. I mean, apparently, according to they're looking at Okeanos, Bang, Dander. Is it crazy for me to want them to go over towards Bang? I think that this team, with how aggro Timo and Asuna are, I'd like to see somebody who's willing to anchor with Cryo and have like a bit more of that, like, passive Smokes player, because of how bonkers Asuna can be. Like, you don't need your Smokes player to also be a Looney Tunes, but maybe they'll just go for the full aggro approach. We'll have to see with that squad. Looks interesting though.
Yeah.